Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Beacon Pines. Last time, Rollo, Luka, and Beck investigated a secret lair underneath Luka's house that his grandmother set up, and they were walked in on by Mr. Tolliver, a grown man who Rollo intimidated so effectively that he passed out. So we didn't get as much information as we wanted to out of him, but now we're going to go to the library and talk to Kato about the source. The source of all of Beacon Pines' troubles, supposedly. This is a dang nice library. Thanks! We work hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Adorable. Oh, Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Ms. Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet, and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing. We sort of don't know. What do you got in the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading, but they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8.
I can't believe we've gotten all the way to a Chapter 8. Hey, it's on page 69. Nice.
6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luka tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain was out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luka's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the obit, J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. Is that the person that the medical records from Luka's father were talking about? That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. Oh, that's my Gran's name, Junifer Hartford. I was remembering wrong. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your Gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Oh. Gran's not really our Gran. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luka's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luka shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Uh-oh, she's home.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep.
Oh, good.
His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
I love that the animation they used for him listening closely is just the idol of him wiping his nose. Oh, this game is really good, but the the art style is a little what's the word I'm looking for? Jarring in comparison with the story it's a part of. Alright. No time for detours. The door's still open. Hopefully she didn't check back here before crashing on that chair. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luka's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luka rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
Bad idea, I think. Bad idea. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed. He just ate explosives, I bet.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. Is she poisoning Mr. Nuncreed? I still can't tell who is on whose side. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Okay. Anything else to do in here? Let's rocky it up. See, it wasn't poison. We can still box with the best of them. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luka climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luka groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The jam? Go to sleep forever. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? The noises. Rest now and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9.
Oh, are we okay? I thought for sure he had died.
A speech to end all speeches. Luka awoke to find himself face down in bed.
Alright, I feel like this branch has been going on really long. I kind of worry that I'm like getting into true ending territory or something, which would be a shame because, okay, next time we reach a dead end, because I'm sure we will reach dead end, I, hold on, I can't go to the branches right now. Okay. I want to go down the other path where Rolla was missing and find out more about what was happening with Iggy or Beck's hair or Mr. Nuncreed and all of those different things. So, um, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do next time I come to an end. But for now, let's follow this to its natural conclusion.
He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luka snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival! We can walk around normally. Okay, good. We can jump. Everything good, normal? Can we chill? Can we chill like normal? No, we got stuff to do. I kind of want to explore around. The door is still open. Unsettling. I kind of want to check down there. No one's here. Okay. Where the door is still open. Can we close it? No, we don't have Rolla to do stool form with, unfortunately. So I guess we're just going to the festival. Hi, friends! Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed put me to sleep. Whoa ho ho. Sly devil. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Oh, whole town is here.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing? Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Weakest applause ever. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community, first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the Fell Harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim,
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
our harvest awaits. Yikes.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
Okay, so it seems like the explosives are cold explosives? Ice bombs? Something like that? I don't really know if that's a thing, but it definitely has something to do with the explosives.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
Narrator, calm down.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Okay. Oh yes, we have two other means of interrogation. Rather than try one of those, like I said, I do want to at least... I want to have a peek at what else we can do with Iggy over here. I'm not sick and tired of that branch or anything, but I feel like we've been going real hard that way, and I'm still really curious because there are a lot of gnarly things happening on this side. Rolo is missing. Children are becoming mutated creatures, monsters, whatever you want to call them. It's nuts. Luka drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
Luka drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. I completely forget my Iggy voice. Oh, fine. We know where that leads them. This way. We'll take the tunnels.
Luka and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luka stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice.
Uh-oh. We ran into the ice again right away.
Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luka's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luka pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. For a second, I was like, you see that arch in the background? It kind of looks like the set for Luka's house, but no, I don't see the house. It's a different set piece. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Alright.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. 2 faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Alright, we can't pry it up or anything? Okay. Can we go this way? I'm gonna try the arch first. Luka, are you there?
Luka had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Right, Rollo's communicating to us via walkie-talkie. Oh, no. It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods. Did he confiscate it from Rollo? Oh no.
Luka looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luka responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? I'm starting to get the impression that Kerr is supposed to be Southern, which is very much not the voice I've been giving him. I've just been trying to do a hyena thing where I'm just smiling every time I speak as him, no matter how he's emoting. I just try to smile as I read Kerr's lines. I have not been trying to give it that Southern flavor, so I apologize for that. And I probably won't going forward either, FYI. You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luka winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. A stick? Under the growth here? No. Over here? No, this is a dead end, I think. I have to go back this way. What's the readout? Oh my god! That's the... Maybe that was the house. That's the Beacon Pines sign, isn't it? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Or maybe this is like the next town over. Meh, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium can cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weep Wood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Make snowballs. make a snowman? I don't know. There we go. Yep.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. It was? I don't remember that detail. That's an important detail. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Alright. I guess. Oh, no. This stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I, shoved me into, yeah. The hole in the fence is not here. I don't think this is the Beacon Pines we know. I think this is, like, a replica, or the town we live in is a replica. Maybe for, like, experimental purposes?
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weep Wood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luka could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luka went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't gonna save the day. We aren't even gonna save ourselves. My face is mangled, the town is destroyed, and everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luka peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luka a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luka allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
What are we looking at here? The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps? I sorta froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course! Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luka Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luka gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression. Yep.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh, it must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all of this.
Luka's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Feels like a bad idea. Oh no. Luka? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luka could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luka was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug.
This dream music gets my hackles up every time, jeez.
He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luka spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luka turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. "Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this." The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. "It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you?" Luka snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. "Remember what?" The doppelganger pointed to the couch. "The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us." Luka turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. "That's not true. He didn't abandon us." The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. "Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you." The world flickered and pulsed. Luka was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went." He grabbed Luka's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luka heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. "Do you remember what we did next?" Luka gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. "Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this." She was scared. His father stepped forward. "What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them." Luka's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. "I can't lose you." Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. "What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this." Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luka flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luka? Is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luka descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luka eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luka placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luka's ears. Listen to me, Luka. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luka hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
Oh, that was hard to listen to.
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall.
That was difficult. Very real. Oof. Oh boy.
It stood above them, lingering in contemplation.
That's not Dawn, is it?
Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head.
They look nice, whoever
From
they
a
are.
deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luka looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep, minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Oh, come on, jerk. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you.
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. All right, that does it. Luka, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luka and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luka and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe, or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail, the clipboards. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luka and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. Narrator, where were you? So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why, indeed.
Luka began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they
He
could...
looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weep Wood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luka and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luka sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luka needed to know. Luka stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luka's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luka's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. 259 Kelvin. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey! Don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah, come on. It's almost lunchtime. Weirdo. Why did he walk like that? Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luka stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luka a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey, who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover? Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luka Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at ya, acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off the switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luka wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to Perennial Harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad, I promise. Let's do this. Whew, alright, I wanted to end the episode like 10 minutes ago, but it just kind of never stopped. Hold on. I'm gonna let this conversation happen next time. So, yeah, ooh, a lot of big revelations there. I'm glad that I went over to this side of the tree this time. It just started to feel a little samey, like, oh, these kids going about their merry way and sleuthing and whatnot, and you know, it was cute and all, and you know, I just wanted a story that didn't end with everyone getting frozen. Now we're at a story with, this feels like this is where the really juicy supernatural elements are really becoming obvious. But yeah, a lot to chew on. Who is Gran? What happened to the original Beacon Pines? What is Perennial Harvest doing? What was William Kerr talking about when he talked about change? Who is Nat? What is the source? So much to chew on there. And I think we'll start uncovering those questions next time. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Beacon Pines.